with the Innovator program, but we did want to at least give one final opportunity for folks to come together, say hi, update us on life, and also with your projects. If there's anything we can do to support or give feedback or spread the word, we are here for you. So without further ado, we can just go along the bottom, and if you want to share maybe the coolest or best thing that's happened to you in the last year, whether that's professionally, personally, anything you want to share just to update the group how you are. And then feel free to share your screen, drop a link in to anything about your project that you might be interested in either getting feedback or having us spread the word or collaborate with you. So how's it going, Zelia? How are you?
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm well. I guess I can't believe the year's already come and gone. Like this went fast. I didn't think it was. It was pleasantly surprised to see where my project has gone. And I think my biggest takeaway from this was just seeing how everyone else was doing with their projects, and relief that I was encountering struggles and getting the support from, I know, like from my, the 7 Wonders, to forge through the struggles and to continue to stay the path. And so I want to do a shout out to my team, and especially to Sylvia for her ongoing support through all this. And the relationship that I built with my mentor was great, and I really appreciate all that Roland had to offer and giving me guidance and feedback in designing my site. So yeah, that was great.
Awesome. Zelia, do you want to drop your link or anything about your project that you want to share with the team? That's so great to hear about your mentor. Hopefully, I know with Sylvia, you'll stay in touch, and hopefully all of you keep your mentors as professional contacts or relationships that you can keep turning to, and new projects that you might be working on, or new positions. So anything that, oh, cool, thanks for sharing, Zelia. Anything we can do to spread the word, or anything about your project?
Where I'm at right now is, and where Roland and a few other teachers are helping me out, is designing a template for teachers to share lessons so that others can use them as launching points. So that's where we're at. We're just kind of piloting a few things before we put them on the site. But I think the biggest thing was people asking to connect with the students and hearing from the students how they felt about being a young entrepreneur, and how they use the design thinking process to come with a concept that they want to bring about change and make a difference through entrepreneurship. And it definitely gave a forum for my students to have their ideas shared beyond the classroom, and that was a pleasant surprise in doing this project, and I'm really glad it kind of took that path as well.
Awesome, it looks great. Any thoughts from the rest of the cohort? Questions, reactions? I'll leave the floor open for a moment so folks can say hi to Zelia or ask any questions.
Okay.
Hi, Zelia. I love your site. I love the way it looks, and I love all the links and everything that you've created in it. It's beautiful, and I like everything that you put into it, and I like the template you have in there. I think it's really awesome.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Let's keep cruising, but thanks for sharing, Zelia. We'll leave that link in there, and if anyone has anything in the chat on YouTube or on here, feel free to connect, but it looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nancy, how are you? Tell us a bit about what's happened with you in the last year. Any top moments you want to share, whether project or otherwise, to update the crew on?
Well, so my project is in full swing. I'll put it in. It's TLC.Ninja. It's a podcast, and we're still going strong, although I need to sign up some more people. So if anybody's interested in coming on, please contact me. But it was really great. Actually, the last 2 episodes we did, we had Chris, who was in my team with Sandra. So thank you, Sandra. I know you bowed out, but you're hopefully still watching. So thank you for being such a terrific coach. So we had Chris Tenbarge on talking about his innovator project on my podcast with my innovator project. So that was really fun. And the episode before that, we had Nick Kusuman, who came on, who told me that he was one of the ones that had actually read my application for Toronto and recommended me for the program. So I had to throw myself virtually at his feet and thank him, because it's just been such a wonderful year. I loved my mentor. He's great. I fully intend to stay in contact with him. And it's just been a whirlwind. I can't even believe. So, yeah. So that's me.
Nancy, that looks great, and how fun. Is there anything the cohort do to can keep supporting you, or any next steps that you're thinking of?
Just go ahead and, we are always looking for guests, not just any teacher. I'm not being very articulate. I just got home from school. We're really looking for things that are super easy for teachers to do. And so, of course, we'd love to have you guys all on. But we're also looking, if you know a teacher who's just doing one little thing in his or her classroom that really makes a difference for students and is a small thing that's easy for other teachers to replicate, send them our way. It's 15 minutes. Nobody has time for more than 15 minutes. So that's why we make it short, so teachers can just listen, get their idea, and go. So if you know anybody, that'd be great, and just keep putting the word out.
Awesome, Nancy. So great to see. Anyone else on the call or on YouTube want to have any questions or ideas or connections for Nancy? I'll leave a few seconds wait time if anyone wants to chime in, but really awesome stuff.
So Nancy, I know I've used some of your videos with some teachers who just wanted to hear what others were exploring in their classroom. And the biggest feedback I got from them was that they appreciated it was just like a welcoming conversation and easy just to sit back and listen. So kudos to you and all you do, because it's pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you to Micah and Jody for your comments. So we'd love to have you guys on. I'll put a link in the TOR16 chat.
Oh, awesome. Jody's been enjoying listening to it, and Micah is already signed up. So really great. Can't wait to see where TLC Ninja goes from here. And thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think I saw Trevor. I didn't want to gloss back over Trevor, but he popped up in the lineup. So, hey, Trevor, how are you? Tell us a bit about what you've been up to, any major milestones in your career or project the last year that you wanted to share?
First of all, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, totally.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. It's great to see everyone. Yeah, thanks for inviting me and having this. A couple updates from my side, I guess. A year ago, I was very much working on Virtual Guest, which is my project to video conference with key folks around the world, in particular astronauts. I've done a little bit of a pivot since then, over the past year or so, I've made spaceschool.ca, which is an online resource for Canadian students, well, not just Canadian students, I guess, but students that are interested in the areas of STEM and robotics and coding and trades. I very much think that those types of skills lend itself to the entire space industry. And that's what Space School is all about. So spaceschool.ca if you're interested in checking that out. I really encourage students, irregardless if they actually have a plan to work in the space industry, that these are just skills that in the future will benefit them in so many different areas in terms of technology skills, STEM skills, design skills, coding skills. So it's been good. I've had some great feedback from teachers. Emily Fitzpatrick, sorry, has asked me to do a presentation next week. And yeah, so there it is up on your screen there. So that's what I've been working on. That's my space balloon project you'll see in the front there with the popping up at 120,000 feet.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And what have you, with launching the site and getting involved with folks, what's something you might have learned from either interacting with users or having folks play and sign up and use some of the content online? Have you any major takeaways from that?
Probably the biggest takeaway is just the excitement in terms of space. We're very much sort of turning a corner from governments being the only ones out in space to now private industry, and obviously SpaceX being the big part of that in terms of there's sort of a newfound excitement. And I think the timing in terms of this type of curriculum and this type of education in the schools, I think getting great reaction from the teachers so far that the timing's right for this sort of project to help out in the schools.
Oh, it looks so awesome. And I think the next natural question is, when are you going to be in space, Trevor? Because we're all waiting for that.
So am I.
Oh, the site's really beautiful. Folks on the call, any questions, feedback for Trevor? Super inspiring, and there's so much good stuff hiding in here. And this is a really great resource and initiative. Any thoughts, folks?
By all means, if you know any other teachers that would be interested or students, please pass it along.
Even if we're not in Canada?
Even if you're not in Canada, there's many, many SpaceX and NASA videos on there.
Awesome, Trevor. Thanks for sharing. It looks really great, and lots of really great ways to get involved and connected. Cool, and good feedback from Jody's going down the rabbit hole of your resources, as we all are. And thanks, Kat, for sharing about looking at folks' projects. Great, we'll keep cruising. Thanks, Trevor. Micah, how's it going? Do you want to share an update about you and what you're up to, and anything we can help or support or connect to on your project?
Sure, sounds good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, totally.
All right, so a lot of things have been going on. The year kind of blew up on me in a good way. One idea I wanted to share with everybody I thought might be relevant for your project is the Google for Education Transformation Center. So I put a link in the chat. Brian Costello did one and he shared it out, and I said, well, hang on a second, I feel like I could do that. So I reached out to the Google for Education folks and submitted an idea, and they published it on their site. I think it's a really cool way to show off some of our sweet skills. So some of our projects, this is a perfect platform to launch them. I've been doing work with augmented reality. It's kind of my thing. And it's turned out to be a very, well, I guess living in beta is the best way to think about it, because it's constantly changing and iterating. Some of the work that I had been doing over the past 7 or 8 months is now invalid. So now I'm trying to find a better way of doing things, which I've shared out with some of my colleagues. And I know Crystal got pretty upset with me and she threw things at the screen, but she's still smiling over there, so I guess I'm all right. So it's kind of cool to see Google and Apple both take up the mantle of augmented reality and increase its accessibility for the common consumer. Obviously, education's my jam, so I want to see it accessible for kids to not only consume, but also to create. So I've been working, trying to sort out ways for students and teachers to both create meaningful content within their context. I have a website that I've been using, augmentedu.org, where I put my content, but I have to update it because I just found out 2 weeks ago or a week ago that my primary medium, a website I've been using, no longer allows people to publish on it for augmented reality. So I've got some other great and better ways of sharing that I've been pushing out to people I've been in contact with. It's been great. Really enjoyed this whole process.
Oh, Micah, this is all super exciting, and I love the Pokemon article in the Transformation Center. And thanks for the nudge to everyone to go ahead and reach out and do things like this. And you also, when you submit your project in, hopefully you all have finished your check-ins, but we've started a weekly series on Google for EDU on Twitter. You've seen a couple come out, but we're pulling those directly from your submissions of your project. So if you're finished up and have submitted it to your EDU activity app, it's eligible to get highlighted on the Twitter page, as well as if you're interested in blogging or posting it like Micah did on here on the Transformation Center. So please make sure you submit those so that we can help amplify your message and your initiatives for sure. Any thoughts, guys, around Augment EDU? Any questions for Micah? Any connections to make? I'll leave it open for a couple minutes.
Well, part of the website is I formed a team, and I grabbed Blake Everhart on it. And we wrote a grant for $500,000, which we didn't get, but I thought it'd be really cool to try. And the process of creating a team and developing an augmented reality learning management tool was really awesome to go through, with a full understanding that we had to embrace failure and seek feedback to move forward on it. So that was just kind of a cool thing that happened in the middle of this whole year. So if you look at the website, there is a team on there that I put together to try to create something.
Oh, that's so awesome, Micah. Has anyone else tried to build a team or connect with others? I know that Nancy shared connecting with other leaders and getting content for TLC Ninja. Anyone else have good stories or connections to make about collaborating with other folks and building teams? Only you, Micah, but we definitely are all doing that right now by coming here and sharing and saying hi, for sure. That's really exciting. Any other questions or thoughts for Micah? All right, well, connect with Micah, and really inspiring too to see you going for grants and going for funding. Does anyone else have thoughts around funding or trying to get their project to the next stage through things like Donors Choose or other large grants that Micah just went for? That's really inspiring to hear you go for it and making changes to try to hopefully go for another one for sure. Yay. Okay, let's check out a couple more projects. Thanks so much, Micah. That's super exciting. Yay, Jody's also applied for a grant, and totally share it when we get over to you, Jody. Hey, Charity, thanks for coming. We'll keep cruising along. Mandy, how are you? Want to give us an update about you, what you're up to, and your project, and anything we can do to support or questions you have or feedback you're looking for?
Absolutely. So my project, and I just dropped the link in it. It's a website/blog, and it's resources for the math classroom. So it's called Make Math Not Suck. And Jeff actually came up with that when we were at the, together with Innovators. So that just kind of stuck, and I like it. So we've had a lot of activities posted on there, and I've opened it up, have submissions so other teachers can submit, and I have started having some other teachers submit to that as well. And I've been able to present this website at a couple of math conferences, so getting the word out that it's available. And I'm also trying to, Sandra has hooked me up with a couple of people so that I can really work on the questioning part of it, because right now there are a lot of activities, but there are not a lot of good questioning things, just the things that I do. So I'm working with some people on that too, hopefully to expand that part of it.
Awesome, Mandy. Great feedback from Brennan and Nancy. Any other thoughts or questions for Making Math Not Suck? Any ideas? Any connections to make? I'll leave it open for a second. Feel free to drop it in chat or unmute and share.
What grade are your focus, Mandy?
7-12 right now. I haven't really opened it up to anything younger than that, but I'm looking for 7-12. So anybody that that wants to submit something, I would love for them to do that.
Awesome. Looks super easy to submit for sure. And thanks, Charity and Jody, for spreading the word on to math colleagues. That's great. And it looks like Sylvia's watching on YouTube too. Hi, Sylvia. Sharing the site. It totally looks great. Any design tips or tricks that you picked up along the way, making it look so beautiful while not sucking?
Well, my mentor is Shaylin Farnsworth, and her sister works at GoDaddy. And so she actually sent my design over, and they kind of worked with me a little bit and refined it. So it's gone through a couple of iterations as we've gone through this, but they're the ones that kind of helped me make it better.
Oh, it looks awesome, and definitely taking a page out of the Micah mini team book for sure. So that's really great to see. And if anyone else has design stuff for when you're making your sites or some of your collateral that you might be sharing as part of your project, please feel free to share tips in the chat for doing that. But I think that's a really good good way to do that for sure. Having a GoDaddy buddy is a really good tip. Thanks, Mandy. Awesome. And Brennan shared the Dan Myers 3-act story too. That's great, Brennan. Cool. Let's keep cruising so we can make sure to get through everyone's. But hey, Kelly, how are you? Want to share with us an update about you and what you're up to in your project?
Yes. I dropped a link in the chat as well. And with my project, basically, I didn't make a Google site yet. I had hoped to make a Google site, but at this point, I don't feel like I have enough resources to really warrant that. So I right now just have them compiled in a Google Doc. And mine really became about, I think I heard somebody say it earlier, making lessons easier for teachers. And so I worked with some teachers in the primary grades, mostly a kindergarten, but a few first grade as well. And it was really their first year having one-to-one devices. And they were a Dell Venue touchscreen tablet. And they really wanted to move beyond just a skill and drill site and start actually using Google Apps in their classrooms. So I really worked with them on using basic Google Apps, and we started small and we made some templates, and each week we kind of made a new lesson related off of whatever skills they were working on, and we rotated through the different standards and through the different like drawing slides, forms and stuff like that. So I just kind of compiled all those in one Google Doc, and I have them set to view only. But if you have any primary grade teachers, they're ready, like teachers can share those links out and they can do file, make a copy, and then they can have those to use in their classrooms as well. So particularly if you have kindergarten or first grade classrooms looking to use Google Apps, or really it's just basic getting started, because these teachers just really needed to see practical ideas of how can I be teaching something and then have a swap in my lesson where I actually use a digital tool. So although looking at SAMR, a lot of them are probably on the S level, it's a starting point, and it really started to help the teachers to see devices and how they could be used more than just RAS Kids or Epic or Prodigy or iExcel or just some skill website, but how it can go along with the lesson that they're teaching. So I tried to put some screenshots in there so that you could see what the links were, make it a little easier to share. And I do hope one day that it will be bigger with more resources and enough to warrant a website. So anyways, they're there and ready to share.
Oh, these are awesome, Kelly. Thanks so much. And I was opening a few up on the screen, and they look super ready to roll, like a menu. And I think the pictures really make it pop like that. And I think it's already a little mini site and repository where folks can grab it. Any questions or connections for Kelly? It looks like lots of folks giving some shout outs that it looks really great. Any other thoughts, guys?
Well, so I was going to say, first of all, there's nothing wrong with being at the S level in SAMR if you just got your devices. But I'm looking at them, and a lot of them, you could move them up just a tiny bit by having the kids, after they do whatever it is, like I can see this one that's up on the screen right now says living and non-living. You could teach the kids a little bit about, you know, how to search, and then they could add an additional item. So then they're adding to the categories, and that's upping the DOK level. It's making it a little more fun and engaging for the kids after they do the first part. And it will move you up on the SAMR ladder as well. So just a thought, but I think they're adorable and I really like them.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them are start of a lesson that can be embedded into a HyperDoc activity that could transform a lot of them. But those teachers that I was working with in particular just weren't really at that state yet. So hopefully they'll be moving that way now that they've kind of got their feet wet. So
maybe sammersteps.com. That's really cute. That's really awesome, Kelly. Thanks so much for sharing. And thanks everyone for, it looks like you've got some folks in the doc and hopefully sharing it out with teachers that might be able to use it. So that's great. Thanks, Kelly. Kat, how are you doing? Want to share with us what you're up to and a little bit about what your project is doing and how we can help?
Sure, thanks. So my Wi-Fi is not the greatest here, so I apologize if it's cutting out a little bit. But yeah, the project is www.siteleadersconnect.org. Oops, I was going to put that link in here. And what happened with it is I had a lot of initial interest, which was awesome. About 80 leaders at all different levels joined worldwide at the beginning, which was great. And so a lot of positive momentum to begin. Just administrators, there were some IT folks, there were some tech coaches, which at first surprised me, but then I thought that would really add to the conversations and make it a more rich, a more rich collaboration. So I was excited about that. What ended up happening was my vision for Site Leaders Connect wasn't really what these leaders are looking for and needing. And so what I saw that there's a need for is to have something that's lower floor, higher ceiling type thing. So making connections that do not require as much proficiency for people. They just want to hear from each other and hear each other's stories. So rather than having kind of these smaller networks in groups of 6 to 10 and analyze our practices and what we're doing from a leadership standpoint, it's now their needs and what they're wanting to be kind of a database where I'm creating, and I've already got people that are interested in joining this database of here's some leaders and their blogs and resources that they're sharing, and you know, people that you can connect with based on certain topics, whether it's G Suite rollouts or one-to-one rollouts or K2 PD or infrastructure or ensuring equity and access, that sort of a thing. So, and then what I'm going to be doing is conducting kind of short video interviews. I'll experiment with times, maybe 15 minutes or so, no more than half an hour. And then that'll all be housed on the site. So it's going to become, so it's changing a little bit, and yet that's what leaders are looking for, and that's what they have requested. And so a little more time to kind of retool it, and yet I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great resource. So I think it's going to be, yeah, Crystal asking if grouping site there's smaller stuff, but they, what they're telling me is they don't have the time to commit to that, and that what they're really looking for is just opportunities to learn on their own time and kind of make their own connections. So, and thank you, Crystal. Yeah, on a side note, just as far as a lot of exciting things have been happening in my region as far as connecting ed tech individuals in TikTok, and that's been fun too. But yeah, as far as the project, yeah, just kind of retooling and but I'm excited about what the end users, so to speak, are wanting to do. I think it'll end up being better than I had originally envisioned, even though it's a shift. Sweet. Thank you, Nancy.
That's awesome. And Jody mentions congrats to being responsive, and hopefully all of you have seen what the feedback has been from folks and adjusted accordingly. But that's super inspiring, and like Nancy says, super powerhouse and great work, says Crystal, as well, for juggling all these things. Any other thoughts or questions for Kat, or ways you guys might be able to get involved? I'll leave it open for a sec. Awesome, cool. Thanks, Kat. Site Leaders Connect, we've got it, and we can't wait to see what keeps evolving with it as well. So thanks everyone for the feedback. Let's keep cruising. Jody, we'd love to hear how you are, and thanks so much for contributing in the chat and feedback to other projects. How are you, and what would you like to share with us today?
Okay, so from the start, I was going in two different directions. I kind of had two ideas that kind of paralleled each other, and I wanted to work on both of them, and I picked one to start with. And I stuck with it through until the end of April. And at the end of April, I was just not getting anywhere. I was really wanting to work with novice technology users, and we had our group that was meeting online, but different administrators in our board were saying, well, no, you can't have the teacher miss this kind of meeting. No, you can't have the teacher come in at that time because I need the teacher to be doing something else. And so there wasn't a lot of support from the administrators, and eventually teachers were dropping out. And so I really shelved that project for a while, and I shifted to the CCC missions, and I'm really having a lot of fun with the CCC missions. It feels like I'm way behind still because I only really started working on this in late April, early May, but it's one that I've had fun putting together, and it's still working with those teachers who need some simple steps to start using the technology in their classrooms. It's meant to require the students to learn how to dig into the technology and figure out how to use it in a context that is created by a teacher. And so the teacher can implement these with the simple instructions of, here, share this page with your class in Google Classroom and show the video, and then the students are off and running, and the lessons are short. And some of the lessons have been tested, and right now I'm really at a point where I'm looking for teachers who are wanting to take those pre-tested lessons and try them on their own. So the materials exist, but I'm looking for teachers who are willing to take that jump and try and implement without somebody in their room. And I'm excited because I like to work to a deadline. And so at the end of the month, I'm actually presenting this project at a conference that's open to all the English school boards in Quebec. And so I should have some people who can give me more feedback beyond my school board. So it's far from perfect. I really feel like it's still rough and there's still a lot of pieces missing, but it's really, in the last few weeks, really started to come together. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited because although I had shelved Connect, Empower, Transform, and I had kind of left it for a while, I have applied for a grant. I'm getting a lot of support from my Director of Ed Services, and she's really encouraged me to apply for a grant. We've applied for a $27,000 grant that would allow us to provide release time to the initial cohort of teachers, so that the principals can't argue about when they're missing and what they're missing, because there would actually be paid release time for 1 hour a week for the entire year, which is really exciting. And we built in, for novices who we want lots of feedback from them, so we built in that they would get Rocket books so that they can take their pencil and paper notes but easily share them with me digitally. And so really looking forward to that grant getting accepted and jumping back into that project, because both projects are really ones that I'm excited about and looking forward to playing with.
Jody, this looks really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think the feedback is resounding as well in the group chat as well. But it looks super easy to access and really well organized for the types of users you're trying to reach. And it sounds like you definitely should connect with Kelly and Mandy. I think that you guys are all onto something with trying to think of that sweet spot of motivating new users for sure, and all of these different strategies that you have and some other folks in the cohort all seem to jive together. So that's super exciting. Thanks, Celia, for sharing too some feedback, and good luck with the grants, says Charity. Awesome, guys. Any other thoughts, questions, reactions for Jody? Cool. Well, the links here, all these links, as well as the this video, so that you can share it afterwards, and also come back in and share and connect with all these great sites that people are sharing. So thanks, Jody. That's great. All right, Isabel, how are you? Please tell us what's new and how can we connect and help?
Hi, I'm good. I'm well. I was trying to watch Judy's video while she was talking. It didn't really work. Okay, so, well, it's been a busy year, and we were talking about that before the meeting officially started. Oh my God, it was quick and busy, so time really, really flew by. I posted the link to my my website. Just like Jody, my project really switched at some point last year. I was really aiming towards more production, and I just had to take a step back and rethink it. I had a lot of frustrations, and it didn't went at the pace I wanted it to go. And I just had to rethink, okay, what do I want to do with that? And what do my colleagues need in French immersion? So I refocused it more on really a resource bank of video in French immersion, but for French immersion, but not just videos. I realized that there's other sites right now that are offering those kind of let's say repertoire of videos, but often they are charging membership, and they're offering extras, so activities with the videos and worksheets. And so instead of taking everything on me, I just played a lot with awesome tables last year. So in my Banque de Video, if you click on the to watch the videos, you'll see that the videos are there, but I also created a space with awesome table to share resources linked with those videos. So teachers can submit activities, more tools that they want to, or that they are using with videos. And so, oh, interesting, some links not working. But you know, I just wanted to move it from only my shoulders to make it a tool that people would find useful to use, to share, and to make it more a collaborative space for French immersion teachers. So that's where I am. Still need more marketing and really like an unofficial launch to make it more out there than just my little network around me right now. So that's where I am. Yeah.
That's really great, Isabel. What really beautiful design. I'll open it up to the group for two things. Maybe one, Isabel, from you, any design tips that you have, just like we asked Mandy. It looks really great. And, any tips you have for the team for that? And then for anyone else who's moving into that launch phase with their projects to a broader network, does anyone have any ideas for Isabel for either this project or others for getting it beyond our own networks? I'd love to hear any ideas folks have either in chat or on mute.
So if I just like to answer your question about design, it's just a matter of taking the time. I love it. I really picky about how things look, so I spend a lot of time, maybe more on that than on the content sometimes. So it's just a matter of maybe sometimes finding a better balance. But I just, yeah, for me it needs to be appealing, and it's just a matter of spending the time. And same with Awesome Table. I found some templates that I liked, and I digged and spend time. I'm not a coder at all, but I'm able to change things. I could not write code from scratch, but I can find my way to modify things and to adapt it to my needs. So that's where I'm playing. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Some great feedback on YouTube.
And I see Brennan sharing Idelo. Yeah, Idelo is really a great resource for that too. Not always, yeah, really complete. Not a lot of teachers are using it here because it requires a membership. So, but it's a site I looked into a lot last year. So, yeah, thanks, Brennan. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, on the YouTube, Sandra says the icons as buttons is a great strategy, and thanks, Sylvia, for a sketch note. So, yay, all great stuff. Cool. We'll keep cruising. Thanks so much for sharing. It looks really wonderful, Isabel. Crystal, let us know. What are you up to? And tell us a bit about your project and how we can help.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, totally.
Great. So my project has been primarily to help support administration to change professional development. And the change that I really want to see is I want PD to look like what we want for kids. I want it to be the 4 C's. And I've kind of committed myself to that goal. And when and the goal really is, professional development should create change in the classroom. And if that didn't happen, you did it wrong. And I'm just I feel like during this year I've had a great year. I feel like I've really found my voice. That I actually have just said to somebody, "You did it wrong," is pretty monumental for me, because I'm usually very supportive and I just try to help people. But I just feel like, our mission's so imperative in schools that we really need to sometimes just say that, the professional development or training, if it didn't make something great for the next day for kids, then we have to rethink it and we have to redo it. And so it's really been my mission every time I'm in front of my teachers or groups that I model those things. And so what you'll see in my site is definitely, it's more of a warehouse or repository for me of things. So if we think HyperDocs and Twitter chats and Breakout EDU and Digital Breakout EDU, if we believe those are really great things for kids, then I think we have to do those and model those with teachers so they can have that same kind of learning, so it can change what happens in the classroom. So I have spent a lot of time at conferences and workshops and traveling, just kind of trying to lead people in that direction. And so that's what I've been doing. And if you look at my site, you can see it's just very much influenced by, the beautiful place that I live in. It's amazing that I get to live and call Colorado my home. And everything in there is just really how that I've tried to work with administrators to get them, just to open the door a little bit and to think, it's okay that you would lead a professional development session through a breakout lens or through a digital breakout lens. So I've written a lot of games this year. I've written a lot of digital games. I've written a lot of physical games. I've taught a lot of classes in Google Classroom on HyperDocs for principals, for teachers, for admin, and then have just gone around and supported people doing those things. So that's really what I feel like I've been working this year. And as we were listening to this conversation, we were thinking helps or supports. I feel like I've kind of been all over, and I've gotten to see, but just definitely, you know, if there's a way that I can help a principal or an admin shift how they're teaching teachers, I'm all in, and I will be anywhere that I need to be. So I've had an amazing year.
Oh, thanks so much, Crystal. It's really inspiring to hear how you felt empowered, and that's really professionally exciting for you, I'm sure, to see those changes. And if anyone else has similar connections of empowerment, or maybe how you yourself have changed as a leader in the last year, drop that in to make a connection with Crystal. But that's super exciting. Any other thoughts or questions or reactions, everyone, around Crystal and her project? And let us know how we can help. If you can, I don't know if I saw your link get dropped in here, Crystal, but please feel free to drop anything in that we can share or connect with. But really exciting.
Early, but I'll do it one more time just so people can check it out.
Awesome. Thanks, Crystal. Okay, please drop any connections in for Crystal, but let's keep cruising on to Charity. How are you, Charity?
Hello, I'm well, thanks.
Please update us. How is life and work and project with Charity? How can we help?
Well, over the last year, I've had quite an interesting year. I have changed jobs. I think I shared with all of you that I'm now working for an EdTech team in Canada as event coordinator. So hopefully I'll get to see a lot more of the rest of you throughout events. But my project itself also took a big change. I had been working on the idea of profit sharing, and it was based on the idea that we can't be a profit in our own school, that, you know, other people find us pretty amazing when we go elsewhere, but sometimes we don't get the acknowledgement that, you know, maybe we're looking for in our own school. And then on June 2nd this year, our school lost our principal. He died as a result of depression, and it really hit me hard. I had known him for 10 years, and the common theme amongst our staff for the last year had been just about wellness and, you know, how are we taking care of ourselves. So I really pivoted my project to bewelledu.com, and it's my attempt at creating community for educators to come together and just talk about wellness. What is it, and what can we share about it? What are some hacks that we have for staying well in the classroom and throughout our teaching years? And I think we just need to talk more about mental health. It's also a space for how to stay healthy physically. So I'd love for all of you to share it out there and get the word out there about the community. I have a blog, and I'd love to feature some bloggers on there. It's kind of become a passion project for me out of the sad situation that our staff went through in June.
Thanks, Charity, for sharing that. And it looks really easy to be able to submit your story or strategy or hack, and great day to share it. At least I think it's Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day, so super timely. And hopefully all of you, I think you're all spending your evenings and different amounts of time with this project and your own passions. So we thank you for sharing that. And I know you all have some really great strategies for balancing it and being able to be open with your own workload and feelings and everything. And hopefully this cohort can still be that sounding board for you after today and after this year is over. I know it's a really strong tribe for sure. And thanks so much, Charity, for sharing those. Any questions, thoughts, or reactions around Charity Share? Obviously, we have a great call to action that we can do right now by submitting something or sharing this out today. Any other thoughts, guys? Thanks, Kat, for sharing, and definitely applauding the importance of it. Cool. Thanks so much. And yeah, thanks, Jody, for sharing as well. Can't wait to dig in and to share it as well.
Thanks, Wendy.
And so great to hear as well, not just Charity, but other innovators on the call, embracing the pivot and responding to what you're seeing in your workplace or what resonates with you. We hope after this project, if it feels done and it feels like it reached where it needed to go, what's great is that it all can live on there. You all have resources, you all have pages or docs or something set up. So we hope you keep those up and move on to new inspirations and things that resonate, or continue to harvest these and grow them even more. So whichever way you go, we're here to help. Thanks so much, Charity. All right, we're almost at the hour, and perfect timing to hear from Brennan. I want to fill us in, Brennan, how you're doing and anything we can help support with your project today.
Sure, sounds good. I'll show my website here and I'll give you a link. So I was able to partner with a company that builds stationary bikes specifically for use in the classroom. And they loaned our school board 12 bikes that we were able to share among, I think, about 14 schools were able to borrow the bikes for a couple months at a time to trial them. And a good chunk of those schools actually bought some of the bikes for themselves, realized that they were a useful tool. So the sharing program is going to continue. I'm working with the sales representative for Ontario for sharing the bikes among sort of regional school boards here too. The goal still is to one day connect these to a power pack that the kids could actually use to use their pedaling to capture their energy to charge the devices that they're using in school now. But the company I'm working with is actually considering a 2.0 design and changing manufacturers. So there is a chance that I'll be able to sort of partner with them or consult with them to help them design a good bike that also has some smart connectivity. So the program went pretty well. It was relatively small. Only a few schools got to try it, but it was more than enough work on top of my regular teaching. So I was happy to keep it relatively small and manageable, and I made a little website and produced a video to share with other schools in our board that's just short to sort of highlight the benefits of using bikes in the classroom. And I've still got the connections at the company that builds the bikes, so looking to continue moving forward with the idea through the years and staying connected to anyone who's interested in helping out or hearing how it's going.
That's awesome, Brennan. That's really exciting to hear that there's still possibility for that connection to powering and that kind of V3 aspect of it. Any thoughts or tips to share around partnership? That seems like a really exciting way to at least work on this project, but that's always neat to have beyond the project, or a great connection in education or business to have. Any thoughts around anyone on this call or in the chat who might be thinking about partnership or broaching that conversation with anyone? Any thoughts around that? After October last year, when we really kickstarted our innovator projects, I reached out to the company and just asked if they wanted to partner, and they said, yeah, of course. So I think the major tip, I guess, is just to reach out when you've got a potential connection, to actually send an email, make a phone call, share your story, and there's a good chance that collaborations could build. And without the collaboration with the company, we never would have had the loaner bikes, and it wouldn't have worked out as well. So I guess if there's just one tip, it's if you've got a potential connection, pursue it. You never know where it might lead. Oh, so inspiring just to ask sometimes, for sure. So, and at least if anything, you've got a great connection, even if maybe the funding doesn't go through or can't build what you need to build. That's always a great thing to have, regardless of the outcome. So awesome. Any questions, thoughts, connections for Brennan? Thanks so much for the strategy and connection for everyone. That's really inspiring. Okay, well, the site is there, everyone. That's really great to see that video, Brandon. And I don't know if we have anyone else who came in. I know we have folks watching on YouTube and commenting, and mentors supporting you But that brings us to the hour, TOR16. So this concludes our showcase and our chance to get some feedback on your projects. We'll put these all together and share them out so that we can continue to help get support for your project or share your story if it's finished. Again, please submit your projects formally so we can hopefully amplify them even further for you. Thanks for your stories of pivoting and inspiration and connections and all of the great tips that you've shared today with design and beyond. Any parting thoughts, questions, words of love for for each other or for your mentors or your projects? I'll leave it open just for a final chat.
I had a question, Wendy, about the directory, like the Google Innovator Trainer directory.
Yeah.
I've been there a couple times when I've received like a link in an email or something like that, and I've clicked it and gone and logged in. But when I'm just trying to find it on Chrome, I don't have it bookmarked anywhere or anything. Do you have a link to where we would go to log into that directory to keep you updated on the project and stuff like that?
Totally. So there's two places. There's the EDU directory,
yep.
Which will show anyone who is a trainer. Is that what you're talking about? Where you can kind of publicly see see innovators and trainers in an area?
Yeah. And how do we log into that? Like I'm on the EDU directory with google.com, but I don't see a login button.
Yeah. Here, let me show you this, and then I'll go ahead and stop the broadcast so I can share a couple links with you guys. But so stick on for a second. But yeah, please make sure there's two things. Make sure you're added to the directory, that's the public one, so folks can find you, and the other one so that folks can, for your own self, to track your innovator and trainer work and submit your project or submit activity. That's actually the EDU activity app. So that one you can log into and see internally your own work. And your own hours and things like that towards training and innovating. But that's different than the directory, which is public, so anyone can find you. So I'll share those two links. But any other final questions, thoughts, everyone? Oh, Crystal misses you all. And thanks, Charity. Awesome to connect with you. Oh, and there we go. We have an Isatini. Cheers.
There. Final cheers to everybody.
Oh, that's the way to end it. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, everyone.
I'll do my cheers with the Tim Hortons cup.
Fantastic.
Okay. Any other final cheers? Charity, do you have a tea or anything?
I got nothing. I just got home from driving kids home from school. So.
Oh, wonderful. Well, guys, I'll go ahead and stop the broadcast. Thank you so much for coming. And we can't wait to stay connected with you and help support your projects.